Welcome, welcome, welcome to July Stretch with your girl JHOP. Always so ecstatic to put these sequences together and to have this opportunity to stretch and breathe and move with you. So I hope you've cleared out a beautiful space for yourself, both mentally and physically, for us to spend the next period of time together just breathing, moving through our bodies with compassion and gratitude, and everything in between, feeling all the feels, because we're allowed. All right, let's come into all fours, everybody. Wrists underneath those shoulders, knees underneath your hips. And instead of cat-cowing, we are actually going to lean tower-like, side to side, just starting to get in touch. We'll go front back in a moment, but I want to investigate this lateral plane here first, just to throw our brains really keenly into this practice as we get started right away. Inhale in and exhale. Inhale, abdominals lift away from the floor. They stay in as you exhale. Now a gentle circular motion forward and back. And if you want to let go of your neck and start to kind of round out the edges a little bit, get a little into your creature power here, I strongly recommend it. Pausing at any moment to check in on something that feels really tight, uncomfortable, like it needs an extra moment. Take 2 more cycles, whatever amount of time that is for you. And then reverse those circles. So heading to the right and then around to the left. Connecting the breath. Easy elbows. Yeah, make sure they're not locked out. Shoulder blades stay down, never coming up next to the earlobes. You can hear my hips starting to wake up. Love it. Wrist popping, all of it. That was the floor, I promise. Everything's popping, everybody. Everything needs this. How about 1 or 2 more circles at your tempo, just breathing. Holding back here, I want you to press down with your wrists and reach your tail back. Tuck your toes underneath you. And just give a little pressure down into the mat. Feel that pressure drawing your shoulder blades down and lengthening your neck. And then dynamically press up into down dog. Lifting the hips, wrapping the shoulders. And one of the things I've been really into over the last 4 to 6 weeks is that feeling of wrapping your elbows. Too often I was feeling myself wing them to the side. And we really want to pull those triceps down towards our armpits. Wing the elbows inward, not outward. Pedal the heels right and left and right and left. 1 more each side. Really nice, everybody. Lengthening both heels down onto the mat. Keep your tail underneath you, pulling in, abs lift. And you roll out to plank and lengthen everything out. Now lead with the abdominals, pulling in and up. Drop your head. Keep your head down. Glide those shoulder blades down. Elbows in. Stay long through the spine. Feel that huge. This is your cat stretch. It's just in plank. And then roll it all out to neutral. Now remember, don't thrust up. Abdominals pull you up. Draw those blades down, hang your head. Reach your heels even deeper. Chin to chest, roll this out. Oh. And let's just do that 1 more time. Keep the chest nice and wide. Tail tucks, head drops. And you're out. Now from here, bend your knees, reach your hips back, and then gently press back into plank. And in. Reach back. Exhale out. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale long. Last time, everybody. Inhale here. Exhale out. Now drop down to your knees and sit back on your toes. Oh, stretch. We started to play with this a bit last time. The toes are tucked under. I'm putting my weight onto my heels and I'm stretching my toes. Coming forward, lift the toes and sit back. Forward, tuck the toes and sit. Forward, under, and nice and flat. Yeah, 3 more sets. Pick it up, stretch your toes, make sure all 10 of them are curled under. For some of us, this is going to be more uncomfortable than others. Your feet will be grateful nonetheless. You might even feel it as you get up and walk around after this. You might feel new tingling sensations, some nerves kind of awakening here. Last set here. Press. Tug under. Now, toes under. Sitting here. Let's hold for just a beat. And I want you to feel gently, yes, always gently, like you're pressing your heels backwards a little bit. Give that big toe a little bit more length, and we're just going to breathe here for 8 and 7, shoulders back, 6 and 5. Hang in there with me, okay? 4 and 3. Huge stretch, and 2 and 1. Let the feet come out of it. Reach down into a down dog. I said down dog. I'm so sorry, child's pose. Oh, my feet were just louder than my brain at that moment. Inhale in. And exhale out. Walk your hands over to the right. Pay attention here as you stretch through your back. Notice any tight spots. Gently giving pressure to the floor to reach that left hip back towards your left heel. And walking through center over to the left. Press down to reach your right hip back, opening up that right side. Kind of looking under your armpit here. Inhaling in and exhaling out. Walk your hands back to center. And with a big exhale, just roll it up. Head comes up last, of course. And then we'll spin it around. Feet on the mat. Reaching your arms forward, just nice and easy. Use a half roll down here just to massage that spine. Pause there. So we're not going to come back up. Just melt your ribs. Drop your chin. Feel that stretch through the back of your neck. And then smoothly roll it down the rest of the way. Arms come down to the mat. Walk your heels all the way underneath your knees. Opening your chest. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, find your bridge. Peel your lower spine off the mat and roll all the way up into that long diagonal, shoulders, hips, and knees. Now maybe don't press this just as hard or dynamically as you would in a workout. Think of the engagement of the muscles and then find the length so you're not over squeezing or intensifying the exercise. Yeah, we're still here in our first stretch, so just inhale, open the chest, and exhale, start to roll down only through the shoulder blades, only through the mid-back, and then roll through that lower back, one bone at a time. Inhale, sacrum, tail heavy down. Exhale, really see if you can feel each bone lift. Take your time. Making sure to hug those inner thighs. Keep them single trekking forward, not veering off to the side.
Drop that chin and feel the back of the neck nice and long. Lift the abdominals as you lengthen your hips. Little hug into the glutes just lifts everything. And exhale, roll down through your spine. One bone at a time. We have one more. All right, love a good set of 3. Inhale. Exhale. Press those heels down. Inner thighs engaged. If you feel yourself starting to push up from the lower back, come a little bit lower. Tuck your tail more. Lift with the glutes, and it'll make a huge difference in your stretch. Inner thighs hug. Press those hips up just 1 more inch. And then exhale, roll it down 1 bone at a time. Now let's just focus on our upper spine here for a moment. That was a lot of beautiful kind of opening through the lower back. With your hands on the mat, lift your chin to your chest and slide your fingertips 3 inches forward, then lift them up off the mat. Drop your chin. Now take your hands behind your head. Lower your chin a little bit more and lengthen your neck back into the palms of your hands. So I'm actually stretching my neck up my fingertips as if I were stretching my arm up a wall. Yeah, it's sliding up. And yes, those abs are pulling in. My tail is down. I am not engaging my hips and tucking up. You want to keep this long and flat. Try to curl up just 1 more bone, but then keep your chin there and lengthen your neck into your hands again. And roll down through your spine. Keep your hands behind your head this time. Ribs stay in, inner thighs stay engaged. Wiggle waggle your booty and feel how much of it is in connection with the mat. Keep that contact. Lift your chin to your chest. Don't recruit the hips and the lower body to lift through the upper abdominals. Now, little pressure. Make sure those fingertips are all the way behind your neck. Little pressure forward. And then lengthen your neck back into your hands. Oh, it's just awesome. Shoulder blades pull down. And then you release down through your spine, 1 bone at a time. And we have 1 more. Lift that chin. Roll it up. Hips are long, reaching for your heels. Try to curl up 2 more bones. 1 more bone, and then stay right here. Pressing your neck into your hands. Draw those shoulder blades down. Lift and lengthen. Lift and lengthen. And then roll it down. 1 bone at a time. All right, making sure you're centered on your mat. Bring your knees into your chest. We are going to go overhead today in a very gentle and welcoming way. I hope that will be accessible for you. That being said, if that's not in your practice, simply hang out here with your knees into your chest or find a happy baby stretch, and we'll be back together momentarily, all right? But for today, hands on the mat if you're joining me to go overhead. Lengthen your legs out to the high diagonal. Scooping your abs in and up. Lift from your abdominals. Don't kick up from the lower back in your butt. Lifting up and catch your low back. All right? Really support it. Now, as if you're pushing up a ladder, lift your spine higher. Then bend your knees towards your ears. Now, the key here is to not let everything sink into the ribs or into your head. The more you lift the spine, the more you feel that deep stretch in your neck. From here, keep supporting your spine as you start to roll down. 1 bone at a time. Just let the knees be bent. Body loose and about halfway down. Let go. And just let the body roll down. 1 bone at a time. Oh. Moan groan. Here we go, team. Straighten those legs. Scoop in with your abs. Use your arms to push down. Lift from your abdominals and come on over. Grab your spine. Now I'm going to keep my legs parallel to the floor this time, but I'm lifting my tail. Now bend your knees. Neck is long, centered. Feel the tail stretch. When you're comfortable, let go of your lower spine. Reach it nice and long. And start to roll down. But this time, really lengthen your spine forward towards the front edge. of your mat. Last time. Here we go, straight legs, deep in those abs. Press the arms down, lift. Now maybe your toes touch the floor behind you and you can flex your feet, pushing your heels away from you. If that's not happening today, just bend your knees like we did the first 2 reps. Pause here for 1 breath. And then keeping your heels reaching across the room behind you. Roll down through your spine, 1 bone at a time. And release your rollover. Bend your knees into your chest. Exhale. Hips side to side. Everybody take a happy baby, reaching for your ankles. Opening up the hips now as you stretch your lower spine. So the key here is to once again be lengthening. Just your spine should feel like it's being rolled out like a carpet, like a red carpet. Yeah. And there's space. And I always pull the carpet tight, right? You don't want to trip on anything. So lengthen your carpet, lengthen your spine so that there are no catches. Flex your feet if you want to. Open it up a little bit wider for those hips. As you maybe find a little rock side to side, but the more you're able to flatten that lower back, the less that's going to happen. One more deep inhale. Exhale, relax the feet, relax the knees, hands to the outside, and just always assisting the body in getting it to its next position. Hug those legs together, rock it up and down, side to side. Stick with the side to side. And allow those knees to drift over to the right as you open your arm and your chin to the left. Also think here about length. So try not to think about being a ball that just happened to roll over. Keep your spine really long. And then look over. So you're not compromising any of that great length you're finding. 2 more breaths here. Make sure that shoulder is on the floor. Exhale. 1 more inhale. And exhale, using your abdominals, hug those knees back into center. And then over to the left. Reach the crown of your head nice and long behind you. Shoulder open. Last breath in. And exhale, come on back. All right, lengthen those legs out on the mat. Flip over with me onto your stomach. Again, a little reprise of some things we've been working on over the past couple months that you have enjoyed and I have enjoyed, and so we're going to enjoy them together once again. Keep your legs open as wide as your mat. Not as wide as your mat, perhaps not quite that wide, just a little bit wider than your hips I think is better, yeah? Bring your right hand on top of your left and then lower your forehead down. Now, a lot of times, I'll see people pushing their chest up a little bit and your shoulders are still up here. Allow the chest to really sink down. Yeah, you should give your weight to the floor. When you draw your shoulder blades down your back, you don't puff the blades up to the ceiling. You literally draw them down the back as if they were plugging into a socket, which I often refer to as your ribs. Yeah, plug your shoulder blades into your ribs. Use that connection to the floor to lift your chest and getting a deeper stretch here through the upper back. Gazing forward, dragging your chest through the window of your arms. As you lower down, you're actually lengthening and reaching the crown of the head forward the same way you were uncurling your lower back. when we did your bridge. One more just like this. Lengthen forward. Now don't let the legs be completely dead. Reach through the toes in the opposite direction, and this will help maintain stretch and length through the lower back. And exhale down. Now, this time you may not come up as high. Keep your left hand connected to the mat. Right hand connects to your forehead. Simultaneously lift the right arm, chest, head, and left leg up off the mat. Lengthen through your crown. Reach through the left hip, the big toe, and then lower everything down. How do we do? Let's do that 2 more times. Reach out through the thigh. Again, the leg isn't lifting too high. If you feel any pinching in the lower back, you've gone too far. Lower down. Last time, reach through the toes, lengthen through your crown. Hold up here. Let's go 3 pulses. Lift up 3 and 2 and 1, and lengthen everything as you lower down. Now switch your hands. Left hand on top of right, forehead back down. Even here, give a little side to side with your neck. Make sure no tension or gripping is coming in. Simultaneously reach through that right leg. Lift up with that left arm and head. Push down a little bit with the right arm. Lengthen through the toes and the crown as you come back down to the mat. 2 more. Reaching out through the thigh. All the way from your hips flexor. Reach through those toes. And then lower down. 1 more time. Reaching out. Lift up. Draw those shoulder blades down. Lift your chest. Pump it up for 3. Little pulses. 2 and 1. And lower everything back down. Really nice, everybody. All right. Keeping your left hand now on the mat. Let's bend the right knee in towards our seat. And then wrap your hand around right on top of that ankle. Now here's what I want you to do. I want you to really think about pressing your hip bone down into the mat. Not so much that you roll over to the right, but staying here, glide that heel in towards your seat. At the same time, you press your hip down into the floor. Maybe then start to push into your hand a little bit and just navigate that stretch. Make sure you breathe. Lengthen your knee towards the front edge of your mat. Oh, starting to really get there. Inhale in. Exhale, lengthen. Hug it in a little bit more for 3, 2, 1, and gently release that leg back down. All right, left side. Bring that right hand around and see what this side has to offer us. Wrapping the left hand around the left ankle. Keep your knees relatively close together. They don't have to be squeezing all the way shut, but they should be together. Ooh, can feel it already. Pressing that left hip down into the mat. Feel where you're tight in that quad. You can even move it around, just little micro movements to the right and to the left. Maybe start to press that foot up into your hand a little bit more. Inhale in. And exhale out. Release the leg. Let it settle. Last exercise we have in this lovely series here is called rocking. So now we did one leg at a time. I'm going to ask you to try to simultaneously bring both legs in, reach back with both hands, and grab both ankles. Ha! And here we are. Now, from the Pilates Cannon, lift your thighs, push up into your hands, lift your chest, and take your breath. Now, do not come up so high that you feel a pinch in your back. I want you to reach your chest forward, press your legs back so you're actually creating space. And then maybe, it's difficult to do while I'm talking, but a gentle rocking motion. Inhale up, exhale down. It starts to happen.
Lift the hips, lift the chest, lift the hips, lift the chest. And then just pause here. Press your legs into your hands, draw your shoulder blades back, lift up for 3, 2, 1. And then lower everything back down. Relax, 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 release the toes. And then sit back. Excuse me, finding that child's pose again. We're going to stay here for several breaths because that was a lot of extension. And we want to really enjoy this flexion here, this counter stretch. Inhale in, drop your head. Exhale. On your next breath, really fill up the back ribs. So really breathe right into the center of your back and really feel that expand. Inhaling in. Exhaling out. One more time, everybody. Inhale in. Exhale out. And then rolling up through our spine, one bone at a time. I hope you're feeling pretty good. I know I am. My body's like, okay, all right, all right. Walk it out to a plank. Using your abdominals, not thudding onto the floor. Walk your right foot forward on the outside of your right hand. Press your left heel back. Really focusing on keeping your right big toe on the floor. Don't let it go wide. But also pressing back with that left heel to open up that left hip. Breathe. Inhale in, same idea as earlier. Find your circles. Exhale around. And reverse those circles. Keep the heel reaching back. Keep finding out what's possible in the body where you can find more space and more length. Holding here. Just breathe. If you want to, take your knee down to the mat, very gently uncurl your toes. And you can take it down to lizard, getting into a deeper hip stretch here. Inhaling in. Exhaling out. Last breath, team. Both elbows down. As best as you can. Exhale. Walk it up. Very gently tippy toe that right foot over to the left. And you guessed it, you're just going to drop that right knee down. Into your pigeon pose, okay? Now, we've talked about pigeon pose before if you've been on these monthly stretch videos with me. I have a lot of opinions, all right? And the fact is a lot of people have a lot of opinions about what the best pigeon pose is. I think the best pigeon pose is what feels like a good stretch for you, okay? Something that is at the edge of your control. That's a new phrase I'm borrowing from one of my mentors, where you still feel in control of it, but the body will be talking to you, all right? So here I am with my leg pretty well straight with the front edge of my mat. And I was taking some breaths there as I was talking to you up in a higher position. I'm going to try to walk it down now to my elbows. One thing you'll see happening here is I'm kind of giving off this left hip. So I'm going to try to reach over a little bit more because that does feel like a deeper stretch for me to center my hips. And then when that happens, my heel comes a little bit closer in towards my pubic bone, and that is fine. All right, I'm feeling a massive stretch right through here. So I feel like I'm winning. All right. But you need to put your hands on a yoga block. You need to stay up here today.
Whatever works. Yeah, every day is going to be a little bit different. Every body is different. So just work, again, at the edge of your control. Take 2 more breaths and see if there's anything you're holding on to that you can just release. And then gently walk it up. Hands are right underneath those shoulders. Tuck that toe back underneath you and then just slip that right leg back into your plank. And just do a little pedal here and notice the difference between the right and the left. Yeah. And then in one controlled motion, bring that left leg forward. Feeling all 5 toes of the left foot nice and firmly into the mat. Pressing that right heel back. Don't sink your pelvis down. How about lengthening? Reaching long behind you. A couple more breaths here. When you breathe, be direct about it. Where do you want that breath to go? Lower the knee down. Gently untuck those toes so they're nice and long on the mat. And then walk your elbows down. Avoid letting that left knee just completely drift off to the side. Keep hugging in with that inner thigh. And as I've always said, just bring an awareness to the differences, yeah? Things are going to feel different from the right side to the left, from the top to the bottom, from the front to the back. Just be aware. Listen. One more breath here. And then coming on back up to our hands, let's just do a few circles here. Tuck your toes under. Let's pick up those circles that we did on the other side. About one more. And then reverse around. Smooth and easy, everybody. And then just tippy toe that left foot over to the right. Gently put the left knee down and release that back leg. Once again, things are going to be different. All right, so what's your best stretch on this side? Stay lifted for a moment. Glide your left hip back. Press your right hip forward, pelvis centered. And then when you're ready, take it forward a little bit. Breathing into the deep low abs. Inhale in. Exhale, maybe you take it a little bit further. Two more breaths. Stay with me. Inhale in. Exhale out. One more time. Inhale in. Exhale. Come on up to the hands. Tuck that right foot under. Slip that left leg back. And a little pedal here. Be really gentle and easy. A little pedal. Just let those hips come back to center, back to neutral. And then dropping down to your knees. Sit back into that child's pose again. Oh. And I'm going to take this as a moving child's pose. I'm going to find some circles here too. If you just need to rest and breathe and sit, please do so. And if you've been circling with me, just reverse your circles. And then rest and center for one more breath. Exhale. Rolling all the way up now. Oh, I can feel how open the front of those hips are. So good. Coming onto your knees. If you need to fold up your mat or put a t-shirt or a towel underneath your knees, please do so. We're going to start to enter into some twisting and some side bending. So reach your fingertips out to the high diagonal, really just at eye level. Without moving the lower body, simply rotate the left ribs around to the right. Follow your gaze. I want your right hand to go right between your feet, and then come back to center. Other side. Left hand twists, but turn the right rib cage around, and then come back to center. So you're not just trying to arch and move the shoulders up and over, yeah? I'm actually pulling my left ribs around to find that twist. And back to center. Again. Inhale forward. Exhale back. Inhale forward. Exhale back. Holding those arms up now. Press your pelvis forward. I want you to lean back a little bit. Now, find that twist again. Reach and center. So you get a thigh stretch involved here as well. Making sure you are pulling your lower abs in with you. I'm not asking you to arch your back. If that's uncomfortable, just come back onto your knees and maintain the twist. And we find a little bit more of that lengthening, reaching your knees down into the mat and reaching your fingertips maybe just above that floor. Wherever you're at, just give me one more. Inhale. Exhale forward. Last time. Inhale. And exhale forward. Easy does it. Just come on. Let those knees stay over to the side. Mine are going to be over on the right. If you're mirroring me, they're going to be on the left. And then you lift your arm up to the ceiling. This is my left, probably your right if you're mirroring. Reaching up for mermaid. Lift up through the obliques and reach over towards where the ceiling meets the side wall. And then come back to center. Again, shoulder down, arm connected to your head. Lift up and try to travel down halfway. And up. My shoulder's like, thank you. Shoulder down, lift up. How far down that side wall can you go? Easy tension. Actively reaching. And then come on back up, arms into a T. For your counter stretch, we're going to take a side bend in a low side plank, all right? Now you can always keep your bottom knee on the mat. Otherwise, slip both feet into that stacked position up into your kneeling side plank on that elbow. Now for your side bend, reach your top arm over and try to get it to touch the floor by lifting your hips up to the ceiling. Now notice I'm not curling under my arm. I'm keeping my chest open, pushing down with my bottom leg, pushing down with my elbow. Hold for 3, 2, 1, and come back to neutral. One more time. Lifting over. And back to neutral. Place it. And gently lower down. Good. Knees come back into center. Let's just take a little and an Yeah. Little hip mobility here. Little breath. Just 4 and 3. Last 2
And one, and then slip those knees over to the other side, setting up that mermaid. Reaching your opposite arm up. Lifting first, reaching towards where the ceiling meets the wall. And then come back to center. Keeping the arm connected to your forehead, lift up taller. And then reach over halfway down that wall. And lift. One more time. Fingertips out. Creating all that space through your side body. Keep the shoulder down and reach for 3, 2, 1. And recover. Arms out into a T. Roll all the way down to that elbow. Slide your feet out. Stacked is ideal. Alright, but keep that bottom knee bent if you need to. Now from here, push this elbow down. Lift your top arm over. Keep your collarbones to me and see if you can touch that floor. Lift the hips. Push down on the elbow. And then come back to center. And again, reach. And center. Gorgeous. Lower the hips. Bend your knees in and just facing the front of your mat. Keep your right leg into your chest, sitting up nice and tall. With that leg beautifully long, I want you to point your foot and then flex. And point. And as you point, make sure the big toe and the little toe are coming back evenly into that flex. And notice what starts to feel staticky. Yeah, where it's almost like your feet are making that kind of crunchy, staticky sound. Roll through that. So articulate now through your feet. Flexing toes, ball, arch, heel, heel, arch, ball, toes. 2 more sets. Still sitting up tall, we're not slouching. Yeah, we don't want to undo our good work. Find your last point, and then just switch to the other side. Hug that knee in, use that hug as your lift, yeah? Point that right foot, and then start to flex. And point. And flex. Just give me 2 more, abs in. Easy neck. And now maybe start to articulate a little bit more, yeah? Toes, ball, arch, heel, ankle, ankle, heel, arch, ball, toe. If you start to cramp, no worries. Work through it. Lovely. All right, slipping both feet out into that pointed position. Just take a forward stretch here. Nothing too stressful, just let it breathe. You can even roll your shoulders right and left and right. I almost love this as I'm taking stairs down to another level of stretch. Yeah, I'm rolling my shoulders, loosening it up. Release your feet. Rolling up through your spine, shoulders open. All right, friends, bend your knees in, reach your fingertips forward. You can keep your hands behind your thighs if you want to, or just reach forward as you roll down, 1 bone at a time. And find your Shavasana position. I'm going to take an open butterfly position here today. Maybe you just want to extend those legs, let the feet drip open. Yeah, I'm going to do a little bit more of a hip opener here. I'm also, instead of doing open palms, I'm going to put my fingertips right onto my hip flexors. Find your position, make sure it's supported. You're welcome to grab a blanket, a pillow, something to cover your face if you wish, your eyes. And take these next breaths completely and entirely for you.
Release your chin to the left and to the right. Whatever your position is, maybe you could work your way onto with your feet on the mat and knees up to the ceiling so you can kind of wiggle your lower back nice and easy down into the floor. When you're ready, roll over to your left. Right hand, like a baby, helps you come up.
Find a seated position that works for you. So I can tell you thank you so much for this opportunity to stretch and breathe and move with you today. I sincerely hope you take advantage of this video as much as possible. I know I need to take advantage of them far more than I do. We are all guilty of needing more stretch in our lives. So let's do it. All right, this is our summer of burn and fabulousness and JHOP, so let's make it happen. Everyone, thank you so much. Please give yourself some love. Congratulations on taking this time for yourself today. It is no small thing. And with that, I say, namaste.